It's been quite a while, hasn't it, since I produced a video like this. But there's something on my mind that I really want to talk to you about. And this is probably the best way of doing it, I think. I want to talk to you about face masks. More particularly, I want to talk to you about why I wear a face mask. Recently, the government has asked us to put our face masks back on in many public places. And whilst guidelines for places of worship haven't changed because really they didn't need to, we've always been asked to wear face masks. That's been the recommendation, though it isn't a rule. The government has issued updated guidelines for children's clubs and for young people's meetings that we need to be aware of and that we need to think about. They have asked us to wear masks in those situations. And also, let me say that before I explain why I'm wearing a mask, I want to be clear that I'm not making a rule here for the church about wearing a mask. It remains a recommendation, not a demand. I'm not seeking to make life harder for people who can't wear masks for whatever reason that may be. What I'm doing is sharing my reasoning for why I'm wearing a face mask. The first reason I wear a face mask is because the government has asked me to. The government has asked me to. The Lord Jesus Christ tells us to render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's. And both Paul and Peter in their epistles take time to enlarge upon Jesus' meaning. So, for example, in Romans 13, Paul is describing how earthly governments have been given to us by God to protect us and to keep us safe. Peter does exactly the same in 1 Peter 2 verses 13 to 14. When a government takes steps to keep us safe, it's actually doing exactly what God has placed it there to do. It is fulfilling its God-given responsibilities and duties. And today our government is asking us to wear masks as a safety precaution. Until the data is in on this new variant, the government wants to take extra precautions to try and keep us safe. They are therefore fulfilling their God-given mandate. They are doing exactly what Romans 13 and 1 Peter 2 is all about. They're not overstepping a line here. They're not telling us to stop worshipping. In fact, the truth is our government has never done that. Not once during this COVID pandemic has our government asked us to stop worshipping. What they are doing, though, and what they have done before, is asking us to worship in a way that they think is the safest way for us and also the safest way for those around us. So it doesn't matter actually whether the science that they're basing this on is right or wrong. I don't get to decide my compliance on what the government is asking here based on what I personally think of the evidence and the science that they are basing their request upon. No, they've asked me to wear a mask. They've asked me to wear a mask to keep people safe. Therefore, I will wear a mask. Doesn't matter if I like wearing a mask or not. This is what they have asked of me, and I have no reason not to comply. You see, the government is within its God-given mandate to ask me to wear a mask. So I will wear a mask. 1 Peter 2 verses 13 to 14. This is what we read. Therefore submit yourselves to every ordinance of man for the Lord's sake, whether to the king as supreme or to governors as those who are sent by him for the punishment of evildoers and for the praise of those who do good. Governments are there to protect us, to keep us safe, to punish evildoers, to reward those who do well. The second reason I wear a mask is as an act of love. I wear a mask as an act of love. We keep being told that the main reason that we wear masks is to keep other people safe from us, so that we don't spread the infection ourselves to other people. And I want the people that I speak to feel like I'm taking their safety very seriously. I want them to see that I care for them in that way. Remember, they might be a lot more nervous about this virus and its spread than I am. They don't know that I've just taken a lateral flow test before I walked out of the door that morning necessarily. If I go into a shop, I'm going to put my mask on because it's a kindness. It's an act of love. I don't want that poor shop assistant to be put in that awkward position where they have to come out to me and they have to say, "Excuse me, sir, would you mind putting your mask on?" That might make them feel very uncomfortable and very awkward, and I don't want to do that to them. So it's an act of love for me to put my mask on. The Sunday I preached at a church where they asked me to put my mask on as I sang. It actually made little sense to me to do that. After all, I was going to be preaching without a mask on, projecting my voice over this whole congregation for half an hour. And the truth is, I probably preach more loudly than I sing. But this is what that church wanted. So this is what I did. It was an act of love. It was, in the words of Paul, esteeming others better than myself. And in both those ways, I believe wearing a mask brings honour and glory to the Lord Jesus Christ. And for those reasons, then, I will wear one. I will wear a mask as long as my government asks me to wear a mask, and as long as I believe it is the caring thing to do. Because in these things, we bring honour and glory to the Lord Jesus Christ, and we bear a good testimony in the world as we show love and care to the people around us. So there we go. My first video like this in quite some time, but I just wanted to share with you the reasons why I wear a mask.